NBC Sports brings you the fifth game of the 1968 World Series. The St. Louis Cardinals versus the Detroit Tigers. Brought to you by
Gillette, makers of new foamy lemon lime shave cream and the new Techmatic adjustable razor. By the more than 1,350 branches in Canada of the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. And by
Chrysler Canada Limited and the Dodge, Plymouth, Roots, and Simca dealers who sell the quality engineered cars and trucks by Chrysler.
by Hi, everybody. Kurt Gowdy of NBC Sports with George Kell, the telecaster of the Detroit Tigers. Once again, roaming the stands with his mini camera and portable microphone will be Tony Kubek. And what a difference today. Bright sun is out. The temperature should be in the 60s, much different than yesterday. The field is still a little bit slippery, treacherous. Some of the ball players tell us in the outfield and on the grass, but it is drying out quickly. We have a little breeze going. And it's going to be Nelson Briles, the right-hander for the St. Louis Cardinals. And the Tigers, down to their last hope, are coming back with left-hander Mickey Lolich, who defeated the Cardinals in St. Louis. And so, George, the Tigers not only need a well-pitched game today, but they themselves admit they're not hitting, they're not scoring, and they've got to get some runs in their own ballpark.
First, they've got their backs to the wall. I think they know that. There's no tomorrow unless they can win today. And, of course, as you said, they're putting all their eggs in the basket of one Mickey Lolich, hoping for a well-pitched ball game here today. But the Tigers have got to score. They've been here now in their home ballpark, played 2 ball games. They've only scored 4 times, and they're much better than that. They're not hitting, and they fully expect to get started here today. They're relaxed and a confident ball club, and they think they're going back to St. Louis. Let's take a look at the ballpark right now. Along the left field line, it's 340 feet away, and you move over into left center field, 365, and this is where most of the home runs go here in Tiger Stadium, into left and left center field that are hit in this direction. When you get out into the extreme part of left center field, it becomes 400 feet, and the task is a little bit harder. In center field, it's 440 feet away, one of the deepest center fields in the American League. Only Yankee Stadium is any farther in our league. Over in right center field, where the left-handers take their pokes at the fence, it's 370 feet away. And right down the line in right field, where it's home run heaven here, 325 feet. And the upper deck in right field extends out over this playing field some 5 or 6 feet. And it is possible, as we said on opening day, for towering fly balls coming straight down to hit the facing of the second deck, balls that might be caught. So the Cardinals and the Tigers have been both taking advantage of these short fences.
And this is Nelson Briles, the 25-year-old right-hander from Carmichael, California, number 2 man in the Cardinal staff with 19 wins this year. He lost 8-1 to Lolich in the second game in St. Louis. He was the victim of 3 home runs. He won a series game for the Cardinals last year. Mickey Lolich, the 28-year-old left-hander who lives in Washington, Michigan, 17-game winner this year, finished the season strong just as he did the year before, making his second series start, beating Briles and the Cardinals 8-1 with a very nifty 6-hitter.
Good afternoon.
Now we're just about ready for the player introduction.
For the 5th game of the 1968 World Series. Here are the official lineups. First, the St. Louis Cardinals. Here is the manager of the Cardinals, number 2, Red Schoendienst. Batting first and playing left field, number 20, Lou Brock. Batting second and playing second base, number 25, Julian Javier. Batting third and playing center field, number 21, Kurt Flood. Batting fourth and playing first base, number 30, Orlando Cepeda. Batting fifth and playing third base, number 18, Mike Shannon. Batting sixth and catching, number 15, Tim McCarver. Batting seventh and playing right field, number 14, Ron Davis. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, number 27, Dal Maxville. Batting ninth and pitching, number 34, Nelson Briles. And here are the remaining players and coaches of the St. Louis Cardinals. Briles is warming up in the bullpen. Now for the Detroit Tigers. Here's the manager of the Tigers, number 10, Mayo Smith. Batting first and playing second base, number 3, Dick McCauliffe. Batting second and playing shortstop, number 24, Mickey Stanley. Batting third and playing right field, number 6, Al Kaline. Batting fourth and playing first base, number 25, Norm Cash. Batting fifth and playing left field, number 23, Willie Horton. Batting sixth and playing center field, number 5, Jim Northrup. Batting seventh and catching, number 11, Bill Freehand. Batting eighth and playing third base, number 8, Don Wirt. Batting ninth and pitching, number 29, Mickey Lolich, who is warming up in the bullpen. And here are the remaining players and the coaches of the Detroit Tigers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Please rise and join in the singing of our national anthem, which will be played by Merle Alby's band and will be sung by Jose Feliciano.
Oh, say, does that star
game of the 1968 World Series, being brought to you from Detroit, Michigan, as the Cardinals meet the Tigers.
Yep, sir. Up periscope. Up periscope. Bearing 150.
Ship ahoy. You've got Dodge Fever. Man, that's Monaco. Design 69.
Take a long, slow look. Luxury line of comfort on a 122-inch wheelbase to give you a big car ride at a popular price. Under the hood, there's engine room for up to 440 cubic inches. New Superlight makes night driving super safe. Concealed windshield wipers keep the lines clean as a clipper ship. Inside, you're in command, in first-class comfort.
Dodge is turning up the fever now. Get your cheer for a new Dodge Fever now.
Dodge Fever at your Dodge dealer.
With the singing of our national anthem, we're just about ready to get underway here at Tiger Stadium in game number 5, and this is it for the Tigers. They must win today or the World Series will be over. Here are the umpires poised on the steps of the Tiger dugout. Doug Harvey will be behind home plate. Doug of the National League. Bill Howler of the American League will be at first base. Tom Gorman of the National League will be at second base. Jim Honachik of the American League will be the third base umpire. Stan Landis of the National League will be down the left field line. And Bill Kinnaman of the American League will be the umpire down the right field line. So the umpires are moving out of the Tiger dugout toward home plate. That's Mayo Smith in the background, and coming over from the Cardinal dugout is manager Red Shaindies. Here's Red. As Kurt told you, it's a bright, sunshiny afternoon here in Detroit. Quite contrast to yesterday's day when we did not see the sun at any time, and we had rain throughout most of the ball game. Here's the throwing out of the first ball. This is Goose Goslin, former great Detroit Tiger player who is now in the Hall of Fame, and that's Mr. John Fetzer to his right and Commissioner Eckert to his left, and Bill Freehand moving into the picture to give the ball back and to shake hands. We pause briefly for station identification. The Tigers are taking the field, and we're just about ready to go with the first pitch of the 5th game of the 1968 World Series. Here are the lineups. Lou Brock will lead off and play left field. Julian Javier will bat second and play second base. Kurt Flood will be in center field and bat third. Orlando Cepeda at first base and bat fourth. Mike Shannon will be at third base and bat fifth. Batting sixth will be the catcher, Tim McCarver. Batting seventh will be right fielder Ron Davis. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Dal Maxville. And batting ninth and doing the pitching for the Cardinals will be Nelson Briles. Big hand for Mickey Lolich as he goes to the mound to take his warm-up tosses with Bill Freehand. For the Tigers today, Dick McAuliffe will lead off and play second base. Batting second and playing shortstop will be Mickey Stanley. In the number 3 position and playing right field, Al Kaline. Batting fourth and playing first base will be Norman Cash. Batting fifth and playing left field, Willie Horton. In the 6th position and playing center field is Jim Northrup. Batting seventh and doing the catching, Bill Freehand. Batting eighth and playing third base, Don Wirt. And batting in the number 9 position and doing the pitching for the Tigers will be left-hander Mickey Lolich. Mickey, you remember, was winner of game number 2 in this World Series. Well, we're about ready to go and moving into the mic, all set to bring you the play-by-play. Here's Kurt Gowdy.
Thank you, George Kell. Lou Brock getting ready to step in now. You study Lolich in slow motion. Lou Brock leads the series in batting. He led the series in batting last year. He's hitting .500. He's had 8 hits and 16 times up, and he's also the leading RBI man with 5. And, of course, has tied the stolen base record with 7. He's hit him short. He's hit him deep. He's hit him to left. He's hit him to right center. He's hit him to right. He's done everything. He's been on base 7 times in the last 2 games, and the first pitch to him is high and inside for a ball. The breeze today from third to first, favoring balls hit in the air toward right field. The left-handed full hitters have the advantage today. And as you saw, it's a fairly stiff breeze. There's a drive to left. That one's headed toward the corner. Willie Horton out after it. Brock is coming in a second. And Lou Brock, who is a great player during the season, but belongs in another league in a World Series, has his 9th hit. He's now had 2 doubles, a triple, 2 homers. Oh, he's hit with power. Julian Javier is batting .400. Lifetime series average of .365. Another Cardinal who seems to rise to the occasion at World Series time. 6 hits and 15 times. Brock led off yesterday's game with a homer, leads off this one with a double. Strike to Javier. Lolich usually pitches well in this ballpark. He won 12 and lost 2 here this year. He won 5 and lost 7 on the road. And this park is tougher to pitch in than some of the bigger ballparks on the road in the American League. And he had a good earned run average here of 2.39. No balls, 1 strike to Javier. Fouls it back. 0-2. Javier, 32 years old, lives in the Dominican Republic. Nicky Lolich, 6 feet tall, 185-pounder, just turned 28 years of age. His 2-strike pitch. Ground ball is short. Stanley holds Brock at second. Throws over and gets him. Javier's out. Short to first. Lou Brock still on second. 1 out. And Kurt Flood coming up. Well, everybody was flabbergasted when they put Stanley as short to open the series. He's done just about everything you can do out there as a shortstop. Kurt Flood batting .313. 5 hits and 16 times. Cepeda will be on deck. Just underway here in the first inning, no score. There goes Brock, and it's a blooper to right. It'll score Brock. Brock had a big jump, and I think, George, if Flood had not swung, Brock might have had third base stolen.
He had a good lead, and Lolich was trying to hold him close, but when this fellow makes up his mind to go, Kurt, he gets the great lead. He seems to have a knack of knowing when they're not going to throw to the base.
Cardinals last year and this year tell us he doesn't try to steal third too many times. Yesterday he stole third. Now we have Kurt Flood at first, and the Cardinals have jumped out in front 1-0 in the first inning. 1 down, Cepeda up. Orlando's had 4 hits and 17 times, batting .235. Fouls it off the fist down the third base line. 0-1. That RBI for Flood was his second of the series. There he is getting his lead. Inside is Cepeda, a ball, 1-1. Cepeda hit a ball here in the Saturday game with a wind much like it is today, and it held it up. It was caught on a warning path in left center. Nearly had Flood going the wrong way. Then he hit a line drive later for a home run, but he might have had 2 home runs in that game had it not been for the wind. 1-1 pitch. Good fastball by Lowey. Orlando Cepeda, 31 years old this month. A 1-2 pitch to him. Outside, didn't miss much. 2-2. Orlando lives in Puerto Rico. Plays winter ball there. 2-2. Cardinals leading 1-0 in the first inning. Flood dancing around, as you saw. Lowey stepped off on him. Look at him study Lowey. The 2-2 pitch. Curve is foul back. The Cardinals had not hit too much at the end of the year. They weren't supposed to have the power the Tigers had. And the power was supposed to favor the Tigers in Tiger Stadium. But it hasn't turned out that way. A lot of times in sports, things go against the form. There he goes, low inside, the throw down, and it's a stolen base for Curt Flood. McAuliffe had to dig that one up out of the dirt. And here it is, George, on the rerun.
Curt Flood with a good lead. Freehand's throw is in the dirt, as you can see, and they had no chance to get him. McAuliffe just blocked it. This is a different angle. You can see the jump. This fellow runs a lot like Brock. He doesn't run quite as fast or get quite the lead, but he's a good base runner.
Good play by McAuliffe to keep that ball from going through, George. Reaching into the runner and out to his left there. That's the second stolen base for Flood in this series and the 10th for the Cardinals. Now they have a man in scoring position. They have the forced double play situation taken off. The 3-2 count to Cepeda. And he hits a high drive to deep left. That one is sailing back, going, and it is in the seats for a home run. Orlando Cepeda getting RBIs 5 and 6. He now leads the series in runs batted in. And these Cardinal bats continue to boom at Tiger Stadium. Cepeda, who had gone 60 times in the World Series at bat without a home run until Saturday, and then comes through again today. Mike Shannon, the Cardinal third baseman, is up. Pitches high to him for a ball. Cardinals 3, Tigers nothing. There's 1 out, nobody on, and now we're getting some action in the Tiger bullpen. Fred Lasher starting to warm up. The curve is outside, a ball, 2-0. Fred Lasher, who pitched in relief yesterday. Once again, the Tigers are going to have to try and play catch-up. The 2-0 pitch. Shannon can't get the curve. 2-1. Coaching at first is Dick Sisler for the Cardinals. And over at third is Joe Schultz. Two and one pitch. A high fly to straightaway center. Jim Northrup waiting for it. We have two down. Tim McCarver batting .353. 6 hits and 17 times up, and he's driven in 4 runs. Three runs in, 2 down, nobody on, top of the first inning. Nothing in 1 to McCarver. Now the count's 0-2 to McCarver with 2 out, bases empty. Cardinals have tagged Lolich for half as many hits as he gave up the entire game in St. Louis. The curve is strike 3. 3 runs for St. Louis, 3 hits. There were no errors and nobody left. And at the end of the first half inning, the Cardinals 3, the Tigers coming to bat.
This bank began the year Canada began and grew along with Canada. All along the way, wherever history was being made, the commerce was there. Reliable, progressive, a real working bank. Serving the loggers, the miners, the oilmen. For example, the Commerce Oil Map in Calgary maintains an up-to-the-minute picture of who's drilling where, what's good, what's promising. An important service to customers at Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce.
Bank of Commerce, Bank of Commerce.
One of the world's great banks.
Nelson Briles, his 3rd series start, and his 4th World Series game. He pitched a 5-2 complete game win at St. Louis in the 3rd game of the series last year. He lost the 2nd game of the series to Lolich 8-1. Gave up 4 runs, 7 hits in 5 innings, allowing home runs to Horton, Lolich, and Cash. He was born in Doris, California. Lives now in Carmichael, California. Lieutenant Santa Clara University and Chico State College. 25 years old, and the first batter for the Tigers is Dick McAuliffe. McAuliffe batting .294. From Avon, Connecticut. Nothing in 1 to McAuliffe. Kaline has been the leading hitter for the Tigers, batting .353. McAuliffe the second with a .294 average. High fly in the shallow center. Kurt Flood looking up in that sun. Puts it away for the first out. Those sunglasses will come in handy out there today. Mickey Stanley, 3 hits in 16, batting .188. Al Kaline to follow. Cardinals out in front, 3-0, last of the first. High fly into fairly deep right center. Flood over there again. 2 down. Now Kaline up, who's played a marvelous World Series for the Tigers. Batting .353, been outstanding in the field. And the hometown Tiger fans have appreciated his play over 16 years here. Right in back of him, there's Governor Romney. Like he's munching on a hot dog like all the other ball fans here today. Ball one, the K line. Tigers have 2 down, nobody on. Foul back. 1-1. The strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Al Kaline. One and two. They have 2 and 2 in the scoreboard, and the umpire now signals 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. 2 away, nobody on. Foul again. Line, born in Baltimore, Maryland, never played a day of minor league baseball in his life. 33 years old. A hard-luck fellow with injuries throughout his career. Goes after a curve. And Briles gets him down 1-2-3 in the first. At the end of the first inning, the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers nothing.
Just look what's in it tonight.
The all-new Plymouth Fury for 1969. So big, so beautiful, so fresh in design, it's hard to believe this is a popular priced car. Fury has more comfort, more roominess, more luxury, and behind the wheel, more excitement.
Just look what's in it tonight.
The 1969 Plymouth Valiant, built to Chrysler standards of 6-passenger roominess and comfort. The honest compact. Fury, Valiant, Barracuda, and Belvedere at your Plymouth dealers.
Ron Davis is up now. Strike. Davis playing right field today as the Cardinals platoon in right with a left-hander going. Davis takes over when the Tigers are pitching a right-hander. Roger Maris is in right field. Davis went 0 for 4 in the game against Lolich at St. Louis. A little nubber back to the mound. Lolich slips, but still throws him out. The grass has not dried out yet. It is probably drying out rapidly, but the outfield, the infield grass is still slippery in the dirt. The edges around the foul ground are still on the soft side. 1 out, nobody on, and Del Maxwell, the Cardinal shortstop. He hasn't had a hit in 13 times up. And Bill Freehan are still looking for their first hit. That was ball 1 to him. Cardinal pitcher Nelson Briles is scheduled up next. The 1-0 pitch. He pops it up to the left side. Shortstop Stanley. 2 down. And here's Briles now. Have you noticed already the shadows are covering home plate here? The The pitcher's throwing out of the bright sunshine into the darkness at home plate, which makes it tough on the hitter, but didn't seem to bother the Cardinals too much in the first inning. St. Louis 3, Detroit nothing. 0-1 to Bryles. Lou Brock on deck at the top of the Cardinal batting order. Woolwich curves him, and it's inside a ball. 1-1. Bryles has a lifetime batting average in the National League of 127. 2-1 to him. 2 down, nobody on. Three and 1. Woolwich behind the opposing pitcher. Strike 2. 3-2. Doug Harvey has that delayed call that some umpires do behind the plate on strike. They have to wait just a little bit. Here's a 3-2 delivery. Foul off the mask of the catcher, Freehand. Wonder if Mickey Lolich drove his motorcycle in today, George.
I think the Detroit Ball Club asked him to stay off of the motorcycle. I think that phase has ended for a little while at least.
3-2. 2 down. Struck him out. 1-2-3 innings to Lolich. At the end of an inning and a half, it's the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers nothing.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, feel confident. Stay dry with new Right Guard Antiperspirant, a completely new product from Right Guard. Right Guard Antiperspirant is a new defense against perspiration. It contains a tested agent that checks perspiration wetness. Feel confident. Stay dry. Get new Right Guard Antiperspirant in the silver can.
10 more blades to go.
5 blades to go.
3. Just 3 blades to go. That's it. I used up all the old blades. Now I can use the new Gillette Super Stainless Steel blade with the miracle plastic coating on the edge. They say it's supposed to spoil you.
The spoiler.
Down to Tony Kubek.
Thank you, Kurt. Here's an all-time Dodger great, Duke Snyder. Duke, do you think we're going back to St. Louis?
Well, I'd like to see it go back, but Detroit's got their work cut out for them now, Tony. What have you been doing? Well, I'm with the San Diego Baseball Club. Now we're going to be in the National League next year.
Duke Snyder, good to see you again. Now let's go back upstairs.
Norm Cash, 4 hits in 16, batting .250. Had 1 homer. He hit that one off Bryles in St. Louis. Bryles' breaking pitch was good for a strike. Cash, Horton, and Northrup. Foul away. Bryles is quick with his fastball so far.
Purdy's getting the curveball over today. This is something he was not doing in St. Louis, and he had to come back with the fastball, and they hit some home runs off of him. But today he's getting the curve over, and he's quick.
He has Cash in a hole, 2 strikes. There they drive in the deep right. That ball is off the top of the wall. Flood playing it beautifully, holds him to a single. It missed the home run by about a foot, and Kurt Flood played the carom beautifully. That's one of the longest singles you'll ever see.
Kurt, it was home run all the way, but he just didn't get it up in the air. And the ball hit, as you said, about a foot from the top of the fence and caromed right into the glove of Flood. And Cash had no choice but to hold on at first base.
This game is authorized under television rights granted by the Commissioner's Office solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner is prohibited. Willie Horton had 2 hits at 12 times. Both those hits were against Riles. The Tigers now have their first base runner. There's a ball hit to Shannon. Good stop for 1. Javier's relay for 2. Around the horn with a double play, and across the body staff by Mike Shannon. And an old third baseman should be able to talk about this one.
He makes a great play here. That was labeled base hit all the way, Kurt, and turns it into a good double play. Javier, as you can see here, got the throw in a bad position, but yet he made a good relay to first base. He was reaching toward left field to take that throw. He likes to have it on the first base side, but he got it on the other side. Still made a good play.
2 down. Jim Northrup has had 2 hits in 16 times. The Cardinals out in front 3-0, scoring 3 times in the first inning. A ball to Northrup.
Kurt, this is still a game of inches. Cash misses a home run by a foot, and that ball missed being a 2-base hit by a foot or less, and there you are.
His breaking pitch out of the strike zone for ball 2. 2-0 to Jim Northrup. 2 down, nobody on. On deck, Bill Freehand. Big bounding ball to Briles. He'll go over. Now he flips to Cepeda. Briles had ideas of going over to make the play himself at first. Northrup was out from the pitcher to the first baseman. The Tigers are retired in the second. No runs, 1 hit. There were no errors, nobody left. At the end of 2 innings now, it's the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers 0.
Oh, I'm so nervous. What if I got Dodge fever? Right in the middle of cutting this $2 million diamond.
Some things just can't wait, like the Dodge Dart Swinger 340. Young, new compact with a wild new personality. The size, style, and looks say it all.
Please. I don't want to make a boo-boo.
With bumblebee stripes, dual exhaust, 4 on the floor, and a new high-performance hood. What gives the Swinger its swing? 340 cubes of V8.
Easy. Oh, no. Oh, boy, am I going to get yelled at.
Dodge Dart Swinger 340 for 1969. Dodge Fever. More distracting than ever.
Dodge is turning up the fever now.
NBC will cap off a fabulous year of sports. So far has included the Desert Classic, the All-Star Game of Baseball, the World Series, the AFL Championship, the Sugar Bowl, granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Senior Bowl, the Super Bowl, all in color exclusively on NBC. Lou Brock up, batting .529 in this 1968 World Series. Takes the pitch for a ball. He doubled in the left field corner his first time. He now has 9 hits in the series. If this series were to go 5 games, he's already tied the record for most hits in a 5-game series. Ball 2. Javier's on deck. Willie Horton over there in the left field corner for him. Jim Northrup well over in left center. Strike, 2-1. You can see Don Word in on the grass. Cash has to play in against him. The 2-1 pitch. A sinking fastball missing. 3 balls, 1 strike. Three runs, 3 hits for the Cardinals. No runs, 1 hit for the Tigers. 3-1 pitch. 3-2 to Lou Brock. Here at Tiger Stadium, the Cardinals have been connected. Getting their bats on the ball. They're up there. Not over swinging. The 3-2 pitch. There's a drive hit deep into the left field corner. It's going to be a foul ball. He has power, and especially power to the opposite field. He's one of the few players to ever hit a home run into the center field bleachers at the old Polo Grounds. And if you saw the game yesterday on TV, you saw him hit one way up there in the bleachers in right center field in the upper deck. Not too many do that. Three and two to Lou Brock. Nobody on, nobody out. Punches it foul again down the left field line. Lou Brock, born in El Dorado, Arkansas. Lives now in Olivet, Missouri. A 3-2 pitch. A hard smash into center field. And Brock's on again. He now has 10 hits. And this is the fifth game, which is only in the third inning. Well, we'll see what he does now. He has tied his own World Series record of 7 stolen bases. The next one he steals will be a new World Series record if he goes, if he's successful. Javier grounded out his first time. He's also going for a lifetime World Series record. He and Eddie Collins each have 14 lifetime stolen bases in World Series play. Javier fouls it back. Brock had a home run in game 1, a walk and a single in game 2, a walk and 3 hits in game 3, a homer, triple, and double in game 4, and now a double and single in game 5. Brock studying Lowy, getting that good walking lead. There he goes, a pitch out, the throw, and they have him this time. They pitched down and got him.
Well, we'll take a look at it, Kurt. Here's the pitch out, and Freehand makes the perfect throw to McAuliffe right on the inside part of the bag, and Brock is out. When you pitch out, it's pretty hard to get to steal, and Freehand called the turn exactly right here. He made the good throw right on the inside part of the bag. You can see Brock is out. One good stride from the bag.
So it's 1 out now. Nobody on, and a 1-1 count to Javier. The Cardinals ahead 3-0. A curve is hit out to Stanley. It's short. Stanley's throw right on the money, and they're 2 down. Kurt Flood blooped a single in the right field his first time up to drive in a run. And he's now batting .353 in the series. Two away for the Cardinals. Base is empty. One ball, no strikes. The Tigers have Fred Lasher and Don McMahon warming up. The 1-0 pitch is high, ball 2. They're behind by 3 runs. This is their last chance today. Everything will have to go for them. The 2-0 pitch to Flood. The strike, 2-1. Mickey Lolich, a left-handed pitcher, but does everything else right-handed. Working to Kirk Flood with a count 2-1. Flood trying to go the pitch the opposite way. Missed the curve, 2-2. Two balls, two strikes. Low and inside doing ball three. Flood is an interesting fellow. He's quite a portrait painter. Very fine oil painter. 3-2. Fouls it upstairs. So Lolich will serve up another 3-2 pitch as his manager, Mayo Smith, watches. Two down, bases empty. It's the Cardinals 3, the Tigers nothing in the third. Big chopper hit the downward. Wirtz throw, Flood is out, and the Cardinals are out in the third. And Lolich now settling down. No runs, one hit, there were no errors, nobody left. At the end of 2.5 innings, it's the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers nothing.
Jeremy I. Parsons got a red convertible loan from the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce and bought a blue fastbag with buckets. You look great in blue, Jerry. On the other hand, Wilfred S. Hughes got a Commerce red convertible loan and bought a beige sedan.
After you pick me up at the hairdresser's, you could... Wilfred, watch out for that truck. Wilfred, it says no left turn. Take me down to Mary Jane's here.
Well, sure beats walking, eh, Willie? Meanwhile, Miss Charis D. Holmes got a Commerce red convertible loan and bought a pickup truck. How do you like them apples, eh, Charis? Wouldn't you like a Commerce red convertible loan? You might even get a red convertible. Whatever you want, from cars to cameras, boats to broadloom, get it with a bank plan loan from the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. You'll find it easy to arrange. Just talk to the man at the Commerce.
Quickly.
Kurt, I've got one of the top sports writers in the country, Mr. Dick Young. Dick, are the Cardinals really this good?
Oh, they're that good. They ran away from the National League, and they're running away from this club. The National League, I think, is a little better league than the American League right now.
Dick Young, thank you so much. Now let's go back upstairs.
Bill Freehand, no hits in 12 times. He struck out 7 of those 12 times. There's a high drive. See what the wind does with that one. It's holding it up, and Brock is under it and makes the grab. Let's get on that flag again and show you how this breeze is blowing. It's a factor right now. It's blowing from third to first, right across the diamond. Any other day, that ball would have been in the seats. That's the same kind of drive that's a pay to hit here on Saturday. And Freehand's high drive to deep left center was held up, and becomes an out. One down. Don Wirtz, 1 hit in 8 times. He's batting number 8 in the lineup. Pitch is low for a ball. Well, 3 of the last 4 men have tagged Bryles. Coaching at first is Wally Moses, and over at third is Tony Cuccinella. Ball 2. 3 of the last 4 men, George, have hit Bryles hard. Cash, the line drive off the wall and right. Horton hit a ball hard down the third baseline, but into a double play. And now Freehand has hit the long fly.
And you're right. Freehand's ball was out of here at one time, and the wind brought it back.
Low and away. 3-0 to Wirtz.
Freehand said before the ball game today, Kurt, that he felt like yesterday he was giving in a little to Gibby, and he was backing up, and today he was going to get on top of the plate and go in with the pitches. And I was watching him. He's right on top of the plate, and he went for the first pitch, and he gave it a ride.
Riles behind Wirtz, 3-0. Ball 4. Word is on. Mickey Lolich coming up. Lolich had 2 hits in St. Louis. He had a home run off Riles in the third, the first home run he ever hit in professional baseball. Well, he comes to the plate. He's a 500 hitter in this World Series. Cardinals ahead, 3-0. Tigers batting last of the third. Shannon looking for a bunt, creeping up that third baseline. Now McCarver's going out to talk to Briles, and Cepeda's coming over, as Briles has delivered 5 balls in a row. One and nothing to Lolich. Dick McAuliffe on deck. That's word on first. 1 out. Two and nothing. Six balls in a row delivered by Briles. His 2-0 pitch. That's a strike. 2-1. Briles became a starter last year in July when Bob Gibson had a broken leg. The 2-1 pitch. Strike 2, 2-2. And since then, he was a reliever up until Gibson's broken leg last year. They put him in starting rotation. Did an outstanding job, but he's not relieved since. He's become the number 2 man on the Cardinal staff. 2-2 to Lolich. 1 out. Don Word at first base. Struck him out. That's the second strikeout for Briles. The Tigers have 2 down. Top of the order, Dick McAuliffe will fly it out his first time. We're now at the top of the Tiger batting order. St. Louis is ahead, 3-0. Last of the third. Briles drops the curve over for a strike. Just yelled out at Cepeda to play a little closer to the bag. Worth there. Check swing, taps it down to third. Shannon barehanding it. Oh, what a play by Cepeda with a big split and the scoop at first. Cardinals have played fine defensive ball in this series. No runs for the Tigers. No hits, there were no errors, 1 left. At the end of 3, it's St. Louis 3 and Detroit 0.
Just look what Plymouth got tonight.
Meet the beautiful 1969 GTX, one of the exciting Plymouth Belvedere line that includes Roadrunner and Sports Satellite. GTX is all sport, all luxury and comfort. From any angle, GTX is a great-looking performance car at a down-to-earth price.
Just look what Plymouth got tonight.
The sporty Plymouth Barracuda has a look and a personality all its own. A personality you can mold to match your own with a list of options as long as your arm. Fury, Valiant, Barracuda, and Belvedere at your Plymouth dealers.
In Commissioner Eckert's box today, John Ricardo, Byron Nichols, Dick Forbes, and With a light rink over the glasses, Joe Reichler, also at the commissioner's office. And Charlie Seeger. One strike to Orlando Cepeda, who hit a 2-run homer in the first inning. Leading the series now and runs batted in with 6. Fouls it upstairs. 0-2. If you joined us late, Brock didn't waste any time starting the Cardinals off. He doubled to left in the first. After Javier grounded out, Kurt Flood singled to right, scoring Brock, and then Cepeda pumped the home run into the left field seat. That's been the scoring so far. Cepeda strikes out on 3 pitches. Lolich records his 3rd strikeout. Mike Shannon up. Well, since that rocky start by Lolich, he's settled down. Let's see, 2, 5, 8, 9. He's retired 8 of the last 9 men he's faced. Mike Shannon batting .333 in the series. A slow curve is a strike. That brought some moves and ahs. Fouls a breaking pitch off again. That slow curveball. That's a pitch that looks like you could grab a bat in the stands and run out and hit. But it's not that easy.
You could, Kurt, if you weren't looking for the fastball.
Right.
And, after you've committed yourself, as you've got to do on nearly every pitch, it's a tough one to hit.
2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on. The Cardinals ahead 3-0 in the 4th inning. That makes the count 1-2. Tim McCarver's on deck. Lolich pitching 1-2. Ball hit down the first baseline. Cash is hot right over his glove. There goes Shannon down to second. And we'll see how they score that one. Mike Shannon winds up at second. There's 1 out. And an error has been charged on Norman Cash, failing to come up with that ground ball off the bat of Shannon. The Tigers now have made 9 errors in the series. The Cardinals have made 1. One of the reasons the Cardinals are leading 3-1. McCarver took a called 3rd strike his first time. Looks at the curve for ball 1. Ron Davis on deck. Doing nothing. That's Shannon at second. There's 1 out. Lolich behind on the count, 2-0. Tim McCarver of Memphis, Tennessee. The 2-0 pitch to him. Now it's ball 3. Lolich has not walked the batter yet, but he's 3-0 to McCarver. Three balls, no strikes. 4, says umpire Harvey. McCarver goes to first. Shannon's on second. One away. Right-handed batter Ron Davis comes up. Davis tapped out to the pitcher his first time. Playing Davis about 3 steps to left. That fastball tailing away from the right-hander. That had something on it. Shannon at second, McCarver at first, 1 out. One strike pitch. Fouls it back. Now it's no balls and 2 strikes to Ron Davis. Davis lives in Portsmouth, Virginia. He came to the Cardinals from Houston in June in a trade for outfielder Dick Simpson and pitcher Hal Gilson, who went to Duke University. The 2-strike pitch. Curve is hit to straightaway center. Northrup coming in, waiting, makes the grab. Runner's hold, 2 down. And Dal Maxwell, the batter. Popped up his first time. So it's 3 runs, 4 hits for the Cardinals, no runs, 1 hit for the Tigers in the 4th inning. Both runners had good leads, nearly a wild pitch. That was hooked off the fingertips of Mickey Lolich. Not holding at first against McCarver. He'll get a big lead there. There's Shannon getting his lead at second. A curve is a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Tiger bullpen is quiet now. It's warmed up twice early in the 1st inning and again in the 3rd. 1-1 pitch. Maxwell fouling it back, and the count is 1-2. '29-year-old Dal Maxwell. Strikes out. Really toughened up now since the 1st. No runs for the Cardinals. They had no hits. There was 1 Tiger error, and the Cardinals left 2. At the end of 3 1/2, St. Louis 3, Detroit nothing.
If you've been looking for a lime shaving cream that's not too sweet, Gillette Foamy has what you've been looking for. Because Gillette Foamy has this. The lemon lime. It's part lemon, part lime. The essence of the lemon keeps the tang in the lime. And that keeps this shaving cream from smelling too sweet. Gillette Foamy with lemon lime. Wait till your face gets a taste of it.
Take razor in right hand. Right hand. Now press button A.
You'd think to change your old Techmatic razor into our new adjustable Techmatic might be a big deal. But all you do is take out your old cartridge and put in our new one. It not only has all the advantages of the old Techmatic, but now adjusts for a closer shave. You also get one other little satisfaction. You did it all yourself.
All right, let's see if we can find Tony around the ballpark somewhere.
Here I am, Kurt. I have with me the director of baseball's Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, Mr. Ken Smith. Kenny, I know you're here to pick up some baseball mementos. Have you done any good yet?
Yes, we already have a dandy. We had Bob Gibson's glove. Directly after he pitched that great game in St. Louis, I got the glove the next day, and it was sent to Cooperstown directly by courier and has been on view in Cooperstown all weekend.
You and baseball work fast.
Oh, we certainly do. We keep up with all the modern boys.
Thank you, Kenny Smith. Let's go back upstairs.
Mickey Stanley starts it off with the Tigers in the last of the fourth inning. Ball one, and Riles fell down. That's an unusual sign. Very rarely see a pitcher fall flat on his face like that. Strike to Stanley. Tigers have scored 2 runs in the last 18 innings here at Tiger Stadium against the Cardinals. Stanley flying out his first time. Breaking pitch low and away, and the count is 2-1. Just they're not getting any runs. Stanley, Kaline, and Cash this inning. After the high fastball and fouls it away. 2-2. Nelson Briles defeated every opposing National League club in 1968 except the Mets. He was consistent both at home and away, had winning records, winning 8-4 in St. Louis, winning 11, losing 7 on the road. His 2-2 pitch to Stanley. There's a drive down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Stanley on his way to second and may come for 3. The throw to Javier. Javier holds the ball, and Stanley has a triple. Out in that right field corner, that ball bounded away from Ron Davis by the time he picked it up and fired into Javier. Stanley, who could run, got into third. Now the Tiger fans come to life. They're starting to pick up some hope. They were downcast after the first inning when the Cardinals broke with 3 runs, but Lolich has settled down. Here's Kaline. He struck out his first time. Tigers have a runner on third, nobody out. Fastball strike from Kaline. Mickey Stanley at third. That was the first triple for the Tigers in the series. That low fastball makes it 0-2. Stanley at third, no outs. 3-0 St. Louis, last of the fourth inning. Woo-hoo. That was close. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Riles is beating Kaline's fastball 3 in a row. Kaline's a good breaking ball hitter. A 1-2 pitch. And down he goes. Stanley holds at third. It's a fair ball. Kaline trying to get out of the way. Tapped it out in front of the plate. Stanley's on third. They were watching to see what Stanley was going to do. Kaline is out. And Norm Cash comes up. Now we had the pitcher fall down and the batter go down. This fifth game of the series being brought to you live and in color by NBC, where America watches more sports than on any other network. Norm Cash lined a long single off the right center field fence his first time, where Kurt Flood played to carry him and held him at first. He missed the home run by about a foot. He bounds that one foul down the first base line. Stanley on third, one down. Cardinals have 3 runs, 4 hits. The Tigers, no runs, 2 hits. This is the last of the 4th inning. This is Kurt Gowdy with George Kell and Tony Kubek. NBC hopes you've been enjoying the World Series. One and one. Tiger fans yelling, go, go, go. High fly should score the run. Coming over to handle it is Brock. Tagged by Stanley. And he's in there. Long throw by Brock, though. Good throw by him.
He was a long way out there, Kurt, and it looked like he had no chance to get him. He made a good throw to the plate. It wasn't close, but he made a fine effort.
A sacrifice fly for Cash, a run batted in, and the Tigers are on the scoreboard. It's St. Louis 3 and Detroit 1. Willie Horton wrapped into a double play with a smash down the third base line his first time up. So the Tigers now have 2 down, nobody on. Playing Horton deep and way over to left in the outfield. Fouls it back. But take a look out there at Kurt Flood. He's nearly on the warning path for Horton. And Brock's just a couple of steps in front of the warning path to the left. One strike to Horton, 2 down, nobody on. One and one to him. And as we look at that infield, Javier's over by second base, as you see. One and one. Fly ball in the deep right center, and that ball is going to be bounding around out there. Horton is coming on. Here's a throw, and he is in with a triple.
Here's a replay of it, a long belt in the deep right center. This is the deepest part of this park. And Willie Horton, with some very daring base running here, goes in head first and just does beat the relay, as you can see. Just a throw a little off to the right, or he'd have been out.
George, that was a gamble play with 2 down. He could score from second on a base hit. Goes into third. So Willie Horton is crippled. And when we showed you that outfield, how they were swung around, way around to left center, Horton got that ball in an open gap in right center. Jim Northrup bounced out. So a triple. A sacrifice fly and now a triple. And the Tigers trying to battle back, have their fans roaring here. And the Cardinals are going to get some action in their bullpen. Steve Carlton, rangy left-hander, starting to warm up. The first pitch to Northrup's a strike. Tigers have hit some balls hard today off Bryles, but have only one run. 1-1 to him. There are 2 outs. Willie Horton at third. 3-1 St. Louis. Ground ball to Javier. Takes a bad hop. And in to score is Willie Horton. And now the Tigers are 1 run down. Just as Javier went to field that, it hit something out there and took the bad hop over his head. A base hit for Northrop and a run batted in.
Here's a replay of it. You can see Javier ready to get it. The ball hit something, bounded up. He just got his glove on it, and it scooted into right center field.
Bill Freehan hit a long fly to left. And when it left the bat, it looked like it might go, but it was held up by the crosswind today, blowing from third to first. 2 down, runner on first. It's a curve strike. So now it is the Cardinals 3 runs, 4 hits. The Tigers 2 runs, 4 hits. One strike to Freehan. It's low and away to him, a ball. 1-1. Carlton has quickened his warm-up pace in the bullpen, throwing as fast as he can. And he's ready, I believe, now if they need him. 1-1 pitch. Curve again. Low for ball 2, 2-1. The Feta says, come on, let's get this fella out. Well, the game started out as another Cardinal romp, and now we've got something going here in Detroit. 2-1 to Freehan. Ball 3, high and in tight. 3-1. Jim Northrup at first, 2 down. 3-1 pitch. A high fly into right field. Ron Davis is coming over for it. Makes the catch, and the Tigers are retired in the 4th. But they got 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors, 1 left. At the end of 4, St. Louis 3, Detroit 2.
You see that statue? They picked me to bring it in. I handle my cranes with finesse. As long as I don't get Dodge fever, no sweat. Right?
Right. It's a thing of beauty, isn't it? 1969 Dodge Charger SE. Charger excitement in a stunning new special edition. Packed with extras that aren't extra on this one.
So far, so good.
In here, a world of vinyls and leathers and wood grain luxury. A new front grille just for looks, and an optional 440 Magnum V8 just for kicks.
E.T. Oh, no.
Charger's special edition for 1969. It's why Dodge Fever is more smashing than ever.
Dodge is turning up the fever now.
We pause briefly for station identification. We're going to the top of the fifth inning. The Cardinals scored 3 runs in the first. When Brock doubled, Flood singled him in, and Cepeda hit a home run. Since then, Mickey Lolich has allowed just 1 hit, a single by Brock. And the Tigers have come up with 2 runs in the fourth. So your totals are 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Cardinals, 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Tigers. Elson Briles struck out his first time. It'll be Briles, Brock, and Javier this inning. Curve strikes to Briles. Mickey Lolich has 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, has given up 4 hits. Blew the fastball by him. 0-2. Just got a piece of the curve. Lou Brock on deck. No balls, 2 strikes. 1-2. There he is. 2-2 now. Nobody on, nobody out. And the 2-2 pitch. 5 strikeouts for Lolich. He said, well, I'm tired of messing around with this fellow. Get that fastball in there to him. Brock is doubled and singled. Now batting .556 in this World Series. He's had 10 hits and 18 times. He was thrown out attempting to steal in the third when he was going for a record. As the Tigers pitched out on him and got him. St. Louis ahead 3-2 in the fifth. There's a drive in the deep left center. Willie Horton going over. Brock's on again. Horton up with it. Throwing in, and Brock now has 2 doubles and a single in this game. How can a man get any hotter in the World Series than this fellow does, George, last year and this year?
Kurt, he's a great hitter and a great ball player, but everything's breaking right for him. He's showing me a little something here right now. Against right-handers, he seems to pull the ball, and against left-handers, he absolutely refuses to pull unless it's an inside slow pitch. He's going away with Lolich all the time, and this is the mark of a good hitter.
Brock on second, 1 out. Javier has grounded out the shortstop twice. In the batter's box with a .353 series average. 3-2 St. Louis. They've now had 5 hits, and the Tigers have had 4. Line drive in the left. Horton's up with it. Brock's being waved around. The throw by Horton, and he is safe. Out! He's out! They call him out of the plate. Joe Schultz arguing the third base coach. Brock trying to score on a hard line drive single into left. And I believe they're arguing that he missed the plate there. Red Shandies is looking down. Just about any other player would have held up at third. But Brock just kept coming on a hard line drive single in the left. Let's take a look at it on a rerun.
Here's a replay of it. Willie Horton has a good arm now. He doesn't throw real hard, but he's accurate, and here's the throw coming in, and you can judge for yourself right here. as Freehand takes the ball just as Brock gets there, and he did not touch the plate. As you can see, he hit about 3 inches in front, just as Doug Harvey said he did. Well, these umpires, they amaze you with these calls, Kurt. Watch it now. Doug Harvey pointed right in front of the plate, and you can see as he plants his foot there that he is just in front of it. He did not touch the plate.
Kurt Flood pops it over by the Cardinals dugout and out of play. Javier's on first. There are 2 down, and Brock thrown out by left fielder Willie Horton. 2 down. Flood has looped the single to right and grounded out. The way Brock went in there standing up, it looked like he'd run by the tag. The ball, but when they all came out, as you saw, and were pointing, and then Shady's was even looking down there. And then as George explained to you on the rerun, that foot of his just missed the front of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Javier on first. Foul back. And this one has been the most exciting of the World Series games so far, of action on the bases, hitting. The bench suddenly turning around. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Flood. 2 down, Javier at first. 5th inning, 3-2 St. Louis. Lolich drives him back.
Kurt, we've seen Lou Brock thrown out on an attempted steal and thrown out at the plate, and this doesn't happen very often.
1-2. High fly, left center. Willie Horton is calling for it. Cardinals are out in the 5th. No runs, 2 hits. There were no errors, 1 left. Halfway. At the end of 4 1/2, St. Louis 3, Detroit 2.
In this remote part of Canada, people depend on the river. And by river, regularly as clockwork, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce brings banking service to them. The SS Jean-Briand is just one of the more than 1,350 commerce branches in this country. It's typical of commerce determination to make your banking convenient. Think how handy your own commerce branch is. Here's why. Because the commerce has more branches than any other bank on this continent.
Bank of Commerce, Bank of Commerce.
One of the world's great banks.
Quickly, let's go downstairs.
Kurt, I'm talking to Sid Hartman, top sports writer of the Minneapolis Tribune. Sid, this Tiger team doesn't look like it's dead to me.
That's for sure. You know, Tony, they looked great against the Twins all year. McLean was 6-0, and they just handled us all year. The last 2 innings, they looked like the Tigers. They looked against the Twins again. I don't think they're dead. I think they still can come back.
Sid Hartman, thank you so much. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, now let's get over for the last half of the game, the play-by-play by the Tigers telecaster, George Kell.
Thanks, Kurt. And here's the first pitch to Don Wirt. It's down low. 1 ball, no strike. Wirt walked his first time at bat. That was in the 3rd inning. High pop fly. Maxwell shades his eyes. Wind brought that one back to the infield quickly. So Wirt is out number 1 on a pop-up to the shortstop.
You know, George, that Maxwell now, I think, has played in 19 series games and he's never made an error in the World Series.
It's hard to believe, but you watch him and you can believe it, Kurt. He's quite a shortstop. Here's Mickey Lolich. He struck out in the 3rd inning. One strike to Mickey. We're in the 5th. The Cardinals lead the Tigers by a score of 3-2. Cardinals got 3 in the first. The Tigers came back with 2 in the 4th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mickey Lolich. Strike, fastball, right in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 3 runs on 6 hits and no errors for the Cardinals. The Tigers have 2 runs, 4 hits, and they've committed 1 error. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball is outside, and it's 2-2. Shot from center field. As you can see, McCarver flashing the signs. Curveball outside. 3-2 to Mickey. Lolich had a home run off Riles in game number 2, and Nelson throwing a lot of curves to Mickey today. Here's the payoff pitch. Foul ball. This one back into the upper deck. A beautiful, sunshiny afternoon here in Detroit. Another sellout crowd. The 3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Mickey Lolich went for the fastball, and he strikes out. There's 3 strikeouts in this game for Nelson Riles. 2 down, and the batter will be Dick McCollum. Dick is wide to center and bounced to the third baseman. One strike, Dick. He had a good swing at a fastball. Foul tipped it back. Tigers have hit the ball hard off Riles today. Cash just missed a home run with a long single. Here's the pitch. Down low. That one was close. 1 ball, 1 strike. Willie Horton screamed one down the third baseline that Shannon turned into a double play. Freehand missed a home run when the wind got his. Got the slow curve by him. I believe that's the first time today that Riles has changed up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Nobody on. We're in the 5th. The Cardinals lead 3-2. Inside. That evens the count at 2-2. We've had action today in both bullpens. Come on, Rob. Here's the pitch coming up to McCollum. Outside. And Riles didn't like that one. He wanted it. He thought he nipped the outside corner, but Doug Harvey gave the sign, and now he's explaining it to Red Schoendienst in the Cardinal dugout. Full count to McCollum. This fellow's got good power. The curve, and it's in there for a strike. Riles came in with a 3-2 curveball, and he got it over. No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, none left, and the score at the end of 5. The Cardinals 3 and the Tigers 2.
Announcing your next car, the great new Chrysler. Outside it, the surface of the road and the shifting, ever-changing elements. Heat,
car is
The wind. Water and noise. The uncontrolled elements. Inside your next car, a controlled environment. A quiet cockpit where miniature memory systems monitor and complement your every driving habit.
your next car is
The controlled environment is here. In your next car, the great new Chrysler.
We pause now for station identification. This is the CBC Television Network.
And Tim McCarver. Cardinals 3 and the Tigers 2 here in the top of the sixth. This fellow right here accounted for 2 of the 3 Cardinal runs in the first inning when he hit a 2-run homer. Cepeda has a home run, and he struck out in the 4th inning. Mickey Lolich getting ready. 1 strike. He foul tipped that one into the mid of Freehand. Cepeda hit a curveball for a home run. Lolich struck him out on a fastball in the 4th inning. Down low with the curve. 1 ball and 1 strike. You can see Governor Romney of Michigan in the background here. Seated right next to the Tiger dugout. There's a high foul that'll be out of play back on the roof. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We've got another sellout here today, and it should be the same attendance, Kurt, we've had the first 2 days. 53,634. Needless to say, tickets have been at a premium here in Detroit. The 1-2 pitch coming up. Just missed on the inside, and it's 2-2. Lolich a little dissatisfied with that one. He didn't say anything, just sort of shook his head at Doug Harvey. Lolich very rarely argues on a pitch. Down low, and it's 3-2. Well, it was 3-2 in the first inning when Lolich delivered a curve and Cepeda hit it into the left field seats. We'll see what he throws 3-2 here. Fastball, and he pops it up into shallow right field. K-line is coming on, and the old crow puts it away. No more curves, I guess, for Cepeda. He drilled him in on the fist with a fastball. That's 1 away, and the batter will be the third baseman, Mike Shannon. Mike flied to center field in the first inning. He was safe on an error by Norman Cash in the 4th. Tall, good-looking fellow. Down low. 1 ball, no strike. It's a top-coat crowd here in Detroit. I would imagine the temperature is around 60 degrees. This one's foul into the Tiger dugout.
Except for one place, George, out of those bleachers. They're really soaking up the sun out there, and we see some white shirts out there.
That's right. 1 ball, 1 strike. Got the fastball by him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, with the exception of The first inning, and with the exception of Lou Brock, Lolich has been tough. Sonny Elliott says it's 62 degrees. Just phoned the Weather Bureau. 1-2 pitch. Bouncing ball to shortstop. Mickey Stanley sidearms it over to Cash, and he's out. Boy, this crowd is still amazed at the way Mickey Stanley has moved into that shortstop position and taken over. This kid has got to be given all the credit in the world. World Series. And he moves to a tough position like that, Kurt.
Everybody thought that there would be so much pressure on him that it might blow him up completely for the series. He acts like they did him a favor.
They did him a favor when they let him play. I know that because, boy, he wants to play anywhere. Tim McCarver, the batter, with 2 outs and nobody on in the 6th inning. Takes it outside. 1 ball, no strike. Tim struck out in the 1st inning and walked in the 4th. Ron Davis in the on-deck circle. We've got a dandy here at Tiger Stadium today. A 3-2 ball game. Cardinals in front. Curveball in there. A ball and a strike to McCarver. There's Mickey Lolich, and this is Mayo Smith, the Tiger manager. There's a drive to right. K-line is there. Puts it away. McCarver hit the ball hard, but straight to K-line in right field. No runs, no hits, no arrows, none left, and the score as we go into the bottom of the 6th, the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers 2.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, feel confident. Stay dry with new Right Guard Antiperspirant, a completely new product from Right Guard. Right Guard Antiperspirant is a new defense against perspiration. It contains a tested agent that checks perspiration wetness. Feel confident. Stay dry. Get new Right Guard Antiperspirant in the silver can.
Give me a dozen lemon limes.
What?
Lemon limes.
Look, I can give you lemons or limes, but there's no such thing as a lemon lime.
No? Well, what do you call this? Gillette Foamy with lemon lime. Oh, smell it. It's not sweet like plain lime. The lemon keeps it tangy. See that? Gillette Foamy with lemon lime. Now could you give me a dozen lemon limes?
Sure, mister. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We've got Mr. Cub here, Ernie Banks. Ernie, you played against Brock. I heard you used to step on his toe when he got on first base.
Well, I tried to. I tried to actually trip him up before he took off for second base, but he's a great ball player, Tony.
The Tigers look tough.
They are. They're really coming back. They have a lot of momentum going now, and it looks like it's going to be a great ball game.
Ernie Banks, we're looking forward to seeing you in the World Series someday. Let's get back upstairs.
Here's the pitch to Mickey Stanley, and he takes it up high. 1 ball, no strikes. Mickey had a triple his last time up, and he scored the first Tiger run. He's 1 for 2 today. It'll be Stanley, K-line, and Cash leading off here in the 6th for the Tigers. Down low, and it's ball 2 and no strike. Cardinals lead by 1. Bottom of the 6th inning. They've out-hit the Tigers 6-4. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, center field. Should be an easy play for Kurt Flood. Mickey Stanley is out on a fly to center, and the batter is K-line. Kurt, you mentioned a moment ago that K-line had never played a day in the minor leagues. Every man in the Tiger lineup today, with the exception of Norman Cash, has been signed by Jim Campbell and his crew and developed right from Tiger Town to Tiger Stadium.
The Cardinals have interesting story on their side with some of the trades they've made.
K-Line takes a curve down low, and they traded a man out of their farm system to get Norman Cash, so you might say they were all developed.
As I say, you have to grow them yourself.
The pitch to K-Line. There's a base hit to left field. Al K-Line waited on the fastball, and he drilled it to left field. Well, this big crowd comes to life as the Tigers have the tying run at first base with only one out in the sixth inning. And the Cardinal bullpen is going to come alive.
Well, George, getting back to that farm system, you look out there in the field right now, and Brock, Flood, Javier, and Cepeda came to the Cardinals from other ball clubs and trades they made.
Norman Cash, the batter. He's had a single and a sacrifice fly today. Batted in a run. One strike. Norman's single, this is Willie Horton in the on-deck circle. Norman Cash single just missed being a home run by a foot or less. A line drive that hit the top of the fence. Steve Carlton throwing down in the bullpen. He was warming up earlier for the Cardinals. Cash takes it outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. That single by K-Line was hit number 5 off Riles. Cardinals have 6 off Mickey Lolich. Big crowd waiting. They know with one swing of the bat that Norm Cash can put the Tigers in front. Outside, ball 2 and strike 1. Javier has called time for a moment. He wants to adjust his sunglasses. Got a few clouds floating by right now, and the sun is peeping in and out. Norman Cash waiting on the 2-1 pitch from Nelson Briles. K-Line at first, 1 out. Down low. Ball 3 and strike 1. Norman Cash, seeming to be a very relaxed young man. And this is Nelson Briles looking in to get the sign. The 3-1 pitch. Norman Cash gets the walk, and that brings Billy Muffet out of the Cardinal dugout. Billy, the pitching coach of this ball club, and very hurriedly coming out to the mound. As Kurt pointed out to you the other day, this is the way he pitched. He hurries to the mound, and when he was a pitcher, well, he got the ball and drilled it right back. And his conversation, Kurt's the same way.
Well, we've got Horton up there, the right-hander. Northup's on deck, a left-hander. Imagine if Horton does something, Carton will be ready to come in against the left-hander.
And he might be in there anyway. They might not want Briles to pitch to the left-hander. But that remains to be seen.
Now they're warming up a right-hander. Just got out. Looks like Willis, George.
It is. Ron Willis throwing with Carlton. Willie Horton hit into a fast double play his first time up. He hit the ball hard. Shannon made a good play on him. Then he hit a triple and scored a run in the 4th inning. Briles getting ready. Ball, it's in tight. 1 ball, no strike. Briles got the first batter this inning, Stanley, on a fly to center. Gave up a single to K-Line and a walk to Cash. This one's tapped down the first baseline. Cepeda will make the play to first base unassisted. Riles took something off the curveball, and Willie hit it on the end of the bat and just dribbled it down the first baseline. So now the Tigers have runners at second and third with 2 out, and the batter is Jim Northrup. He had a single and a run batted in his last time up, and a base hit here could put the Tigers in front. And they're going to put him on. Northrup's going to get the intentional pass.
Bill Freehan's on deck, George, and if he's ever going to get a hit in this series, now will be the time for him to do it.
Well, what do they say about the law of averages and being due and all that, Kurt? Certainly that would apply to Bill Freehan.
He's gone 14 times without a hit, and here he is now with the bases loaded. 2 down, and the Tigers 1 run behind.
Here's something unusual, too, Kurt. This fellow's being given a standing ovation right now. They don't quit on Bill Freehan in Detroit. And something else, very seldom do you see anybody walk to get to Bill Freehan. This fellow's a very determined young man. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the 6th inning. The Cardinals lead by 1. Briles against Freehan. Ooh, did he burn the fastball by him, and Freehan had a good swing at it. Mayo Smith taking his cap off. Boy, he wants this one badly, as do all the Tigers. A 1-strike count to Freehan. One ball and 1 strike. Riles is throwing harder right now than he has at any time in this ball game. You can see the base runners. Northrop at first, Cash at second, K-Line at third, 2 outs. Cardinals lead by 1 run in the 6th inning. Here's the pitch. The fastball by him. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nelson Briles going to the fastball here against Bill Freehan. Notice how Bill is right up on top of the plate. He said he was going to hit up there today. Briles taking a little time. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. Easy play for Maxwell as he slips it over to second. So the Tigers threaten and fail to score. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors. 3 left. And the score at the end of 6, the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers 2. Action.
Dodge Fever saves the day. He's lost his head over Dodge Coronet.
Dodge Coronet, design 69, proving it costs less than you'd think to go first class on a 117-inch wheelbase. Coronet, trim enough outside to handle quickly, easily, big enough inside to handle a crowd in comfort. 17 Coronets to choose from, including the Coronet Super B with 383 cubes of standard V8. A wild new way to get Dodge Fever.
Dodge is turning up the fever now. Get your cure for a new Dodge Fever now.
Dodge Fever at your Dodge dealer.
Commissioner Eckert has announced that sluggers Ken Harrelson and Ernie Banks will head up a delegation of major leaguers who will tour Vietnam service bases in November. Upon arrival in Vietnam, the group will split into 2 units to enable them to visit as many outposts as possible. Other major leaguers on the trip were players Ron Sabota, Larry Jackson, and Pete Riker. Cardinal General Manager Bing Devine and Public Relations Director Al Fleischman will accompany the players. Ron Davis to lead off in the 7th inning for the Cardinals. Ron's 0 for 2. He's tapped to the pitcher and flied to center field. Tries to bunt, but he fouled it back. 1 strike. 3 runs on 6 hits and no errors for the Cardinals. The Tigers have 2 runs, 5 hits, and they've committed 1 error. Mickey Lolich getting ready. The pitch to Davis is in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Got him on a curve. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, might have been too low. Lolich has been tough since the 1st inning. Cardinals touched him for a double by Brock, a single by Flood, and a home run off the bat of Cepeda for their 3 runs. Since then, he's blanked them. Down low, he tried to get him to go fishing again. 2-2 to Davis. He'll be followed by Maxwell, and then the pitcher, Nelson Brown. The 2-2 pitch. Foul back of the plate. This may be out of play. Freehand chasing it. It's going to be back in the crowd. Still a ball 2 and a strike 2 count. Tigers had a big shot at Bryles. In the 6th inning, they loaded the bases with 2 outs. Freehand bounced to the shortstop. Here's Dow Maxwell in the on-deck circle. The 2-2 pitch coming up to Davis. Outside, and it's 3-2. The payoff pitch coming up. He struck it. Davis went for the high fastball and struck out. Number 6 in the strikeout department for Lolich today. The batter will be the shortstop, Dow Maxwell. He bounced to Stanley at shortstop in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 4th. Look out. A line shot into the upper deck. Maxwell is hitless in this World Series in 15 trips. There's a bouncing ball that's speared by Cash. Let's see the throw to Lolich. He got him.
And here it is in slow motion. Cash, who was charged with an error earlier, makes a beautiful stab of this. Far off the bag. Now he has to turn and make a good throw to Lolich, coming along the line into the bag and just a step ahead of Maxwell. Fine fielding play.
Now, Lolich, Cash, Kurt, has booted a couple of balls in this series, but around the American League, he's considered one of our better fielding first basemen.
He made himself into a good one. I remember a few years ago, George, he used to have trouble over there. He worked at it.
Nelson Bryles, the batter, and I believe he's hit. He is. A ball scooted up there and hit him on the foot. And I don't know how this inning's going to turn out for that, but that might be the best play that Lolich could have made. You put Bryles on there with 2 outs, and you pitch to Brock with first base occupied, rather than leading off in the next inning. I'm sure he didn't do it that way intentionally, but it has happened. So here's that man, Lou Brock. He's had a double, a single, and a double today. A perfect afternoon. 3 for 3 off the left-hander Lolich. One strike. We're in the 7th inning in Detroit, and the Cardinals lead 3-2. Brock batting at a .579 batting average in this World Series. Look out. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's had 11 hits in 19 trips to the plate. Pretty impressive credentials. Outside, ball 2 and strike 1. One thing wrong with that, this is Fred Lasher throwing in the bullpen for the Tigers. I was going to say the only thing wrong with Kurt Flood's World Series record, Kurt, what do you do for an encore? Hard to improve on it. Missed with a curve.
Not many leadoff men like this who can open an inning with a home run or beat out a little infield boundary. Brock.
He's been quoted as saying that that might be the reason he doesn't steal 100 bases a year. He hits a lot of doubles and triples and doesn't get the chance to steal like the fellows that would be on first base. The 3-1 pitch coming up. Got the fastball by. 3-2. A ball 3 and a strike 2 count to Lou Brock. Bryles at first will be running on this pitch. 2 outs in the 7th inning. It'll be interesting to see what Lolich throws on this 3-2 pitch. Fastball hit hard. McAuliffe, a great play. The throw, and he got him. Play by McAuliffe.
Here it is. This one nearly ripped his glove off.
No runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, 1 left, and the score as we go into the bottom of the 7th, the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers 2.
Once you get off the beaten track, weekend driving can be fun. Though sometimes the unexpected can happen, especially when your wife is with you. The chair that looked just like it matched Granny's set didn't, of course. But it's astonishing the number of things she's always wanted. She's never mentioned till now. That's when it's nice to have cash on hand at the Commerce. Cash for spending, cash for saving. The Commerce checking account plus savings account gives you the best of both worlds. Lets a man be his own master. Yes, sir. Weekend drivers sometimes get an unexpected bonus, especially when they keep cash on hand. Keep cash on hand at the Commerce.
We'll go down and get Tony Kubek right now.
Next year, the Major Leagues will have 4 new clubs. One of those is San Diego Padres. The manager of that club will be Preston Gomez. Preston, we welcome San Diego and you to the big league.
Thank you, Tony. I'm looking forward to October 14th to get the players.
I guess you are, and that's important to you, and good luck to you next year. Let's go back upstairs.
Don Wirt will lead off for the Tigers in the 7th, and we've got a pitcher throwing in the bullpen, so we might have a pinch batter for Lolich in this inning. Wirt's 0 for 1 officially. Takes a curve down low. This is Fred Lasher throwing in the Tiger bullpen, and left-hander Joe Horner throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. Tapped that's foul.
No, George, I'm still marveling at that play McAuliffe made. You can't hit a ball any harder than Brock did that time. Way to get him out, I guess. He nearly lost the hand of the second baseman on it, but that was a great play by McAuliffe.
This is Joe Horner in the Cardinal bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike to Donward. This is out of play off to the right. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tigers needing a run to get back in this ball game. The Cardinals lead 3-2. The pitch to work. Curveball is in there. Called out on strike. Nelson Bryles broke a dandy right over the heart of the plate. And Lolich is going to bat for himself. They're going to leave him in there, and this suits the crowd. Pretty tough to take this fella out. He gave up 3 runs in the first inning, and he's blanked them in the next 6. One ball, no strike. I would imagine, Kurt, that Mayo Smith is figuring that Lolich maybe will shut him out the rest of the way, and the Tigers with the top of their batting order coming up in the 8th and 9th.
Maybe looking for a break, or maybe one swing of the bat with somebody on.
One swing of the bat. They've done it so often this year. Ball 2 and no strike.
Lolich has been by far the best pitcher he's had.
Well, he has been by far the best pitcher the Tigers have had in this World Series. Bryles behind 2-0, the pitch. Got it in there. Ball 2 and strike 1. Lolich is not a bad hitter. He hit a home run in game number 2, and he gets his bat on the ball. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a pop fly into right center field. Davis coming in. He can't get it. And Lolich is going to have to hold with a single. Javier made a good play.
Ron Davis was coming off with us when you'll see him dive. The ball hits the turf. And now going out there is the second baseman, Javier, and if he had not been alert, Lolich might have been able to go into second and put the tying run in scoring position. And here's Billy Muffet, the pitching coach, coming out again, George.
He's got a left-hander, Joe Horner, in the bullpen, and Horner turned in a great job here on Saturday, and he might want him to pitch to McAuliffe in this spot. He does. The call has gone out, and we're going to get Joe Horner. There's a break in the action here at Detroit with the score, the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers 2.
Hello, you technical masterpiece, you. This time people are going to see what goes on inside a 69 Plymouth Fury, not just how beautiful you are. All the time we engineers spend giving you more room inside. And this gorgeous unitized body. Oh, sure it's gorgeous because we give it a 7-step dip-and-spray anti-rust treatment. And who's going to tell about the big brakes if I don't? And an enormous trunk. And the magnificent chrome steel torsion bars. Wait a second. Beauty's only skin deep.
A car that is bigger, better, more beautiful than the Furies that helped win more competitive car owners over to Plymouth in the last 2 years. The all-new, bigger, better 1969 Fury.
Let's go down in the stands and find find Tony Kubek.
Thank you, George Kell. A moment ago, we met Preston Gomez, manager of the San Diego Padres. Standing to my left right now, the manager of the Montreal Expos, Gene Locke. Gene, what are your plans for October 14th when you select your players?
Well, it's not going to involve many players that are playing in this game today, Tony, because we're not going to get this high caliber of player. But we've thoroughly scouted every organization in baseball and all their minor league players, and we think that if we can spend our money wisely, we can come up with a representative team.
Gene, you played against Bob Gibson. You managed against him. You've managed against Lou Brock. What do you do with that Brock?
Well, there's no way to stop him, really. If you can convince your pitchers to go ahead and pitch him like a real good hitter instead of, I think that the Detroit club is trying to keep him off the base, and they're giving him an awful lot of fastballs to hit. And the idea, I think, is just to pitch him like a real good hitter and ignore the fact that he might steal bases, because there's nothing you can do about that.
Gene Mock, thank you so much, and good luck next year with the Montreal Expos.
Thanks, Tony.
Now let's go back upstairs.
Joe Horner, the new pitcher, won 8 and lost 2 during the regular season. Here's some slow motion of his action. Fine earned run average, 1.47. 31 years old, born in Dubuque, Iowa, lives now in St. Louis. Dick McAuliffe, the batter. The pitch is foul back. On Saturday here, Horner pitched 3 2/3 innings in relief, and he gave up 1 hit, and that was to the pinch batter, Wayne Fulmer. To save the ball game for Ray Washington. 1 strike to McAuliffe. Ground ball. This one's to right field for a base hit. Lolich will have to hold up as the throw comes into second base. McAuliffe came through with a bouncing single into right, and the Tigers are threatening in the 7th inning. They loaded the bases in the 6th. And here in the 7th, they have runners at first and second with 1 out.
Lolich nearly made too big a turn there at second. He got back as the throw came into Javier, and that was what the crowd was oohing about.
Well, the Tigers have their right-handed batters coming up with Stanley and then Kaline against Horner. The tying run is at second base. The lead run at first with only 1 out. Mickey Stanley's had a triple today in 3 trips. Ball, it's outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the All-American boy, Mickey Stanley. Strike, he cut the corner. 1-1. Riles pitched 6 1/3 innings today. He gave up 6 hits, 2 runs. He walked 3 and he struck out 5. Horner's pitched to 1 batter. Has given up a single. One ball, 1 strike to Stanley. High pop fly. This may be in the seats. It is. Cepeda was over there, leaning in as far as he could. That's umpire Bill Howler with him. Well, these umpires are right on the ball. They go over there to see that if the player reaches in, he doesn't catch it off the hand of a fan or something. If he does, why, it's no catch. One ball, 2 strikes to Mickey Stanley. Tigers trying to get back in this ball game. They trail 3-2 in the 7th inning. Horner taking a lot of time. This is Red Shandy watching the action. Outside, he tried to nip the corner, and it's 2-2. The wind has picked up in intensity. It's blowing hard from the left field foul pole over to the corner in right field. Mayo Smith in the Tiger dugout. Everything riding for the Tigers today. They cannot afford a slip. A ball 2 and a strike 2 count to Stanley. Inside. Almost hit him with that one. 3-2. Here's a big decision to make, Kurt. Do you start those runners with K-Line coming up next, or you take a chance on a ground ball double play? That's why they pay managers big money. I doubt they'll be running with Lolich at second, but they might. He's a pretty good base runner. 3-2 to Mickey Stanley. Down low, and he walked him. Well, you can see the crowd coming alive here at Tiger Stadium. A walk to Stanley loaded the bases, and here's the old pro, Al Kaline. Bases loaded, 1 out. Cardinals lead by a run in the 7th inning. Kaline had a single his last time up. One strike on a fastball. Horner throws a good live fastball that will run away from the right-handed batters. He'll throw it toward the center of the plate, and it'll run away to the outside part. He keeps it down low in a spot like this, hoping they'll hit it on the ground. There's a drive into right center, a base hit for Kaline, a run in. There's another one coming in, and the Tigers have taken the lead.
Al Kaline's had a lot of hits in his career, George. That may have been his biggest.
That might have been the biggest hit of his life, Kurt, as he lined a single in the right center to drive in 2 runs. The Tigers have taken a 4-3 lead. They still have runners at first and third with only 1 out, and the batter will be Norman Cash. This crowd of 53,654 standing in a roaring salute to Kaline and the Tigers right now. The pitch to Cash. Ground ball, right field, base hit. Kaline heading for third. Here's the throw. It's going to be close. Nope, it's cut off. Billy Muffet coming to the mound. Norman Cash hit the first pitch, a sharp ground ball into right field, driving in the runner from third, and Kaline, with some daring bit of base running, raced to third base. Davis' throw was offline toward the left field line, and here's the new pitcher coming in. It's going to be Ron Willis. And there's a break in the action here at Tiger Stadium with the score, the Tigers 5 and the Cardinals 3.
This is the new Gillette Techmatic razor. If you think it looks like the old Gillette Techmatic razor, you're right. The only difference is this little gadget on the cartridge. Now it's set for light beards like mine. But turn it,
And you get a slightly closer shave for slightly heavier beards like mine. Turn it again. And you get an average shave for average beards. The same shave you got from the old Techmatic. Now, turn it again.
And I can get a good close shave. Another turn.
And even with a stubble like mine, you'll get as close a shave as you can get from any other razor. Plus all the things you can't get from any other razor. The lever to change edges, the razor band for less nicks, the light feel, the new
adjustable
Gillette Thickmatic, the almost perfect razor made perfect.
Well, let's go down and find Tony Kubek.
Thank you, George Kell. We're talking down here behind the Cardinals dugout to Bob Skinner, manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. Bob, the Cardinals look great, but these Tigers just don't want to give up.
No, sir, Tony. They're coming back in this game just like they've done all year. And like you say, the Cardinals have an exciting ball club. They do everything, but so do the Tigers. And they're showing it right here in this inning. They're coming back. They're playing well, and they haven't given up, and they're going to go on. And probably this thing will probably go a lot further than a lot of people think it will.
You think we'll see Gibson pitch another ball game then?
I certainly do, because they've got their momentum going right now. They've motivated themselves, and they've come right back out of a losing situation. They're winning now, and they're going to be tough.
Bob Skinner, thank you so much. Good luck with the Phillies next year. Nice to have you.
Thank you, Tom.
Let's go back upstairs.
This is Ron Willis showing a little of his slow motion delivery. Ron, 25 years old, lives in Memphis, Tennessee, pitching to Willie Horton. Willie fouls it back and out of play. Horner did not get a man out. He gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, walked 1. We've got an all Memphis, Tennessee battery right now. Ron Willis, born in New Bern, Tennessee, now lives in Memphis. And Tim McCarver, of course, a Memphis, Tennessee boy. It's 1 strike to Willie Horton. Runners at first and third. Still only 1 out. The Tigers have taken a 5-3 lead. He pops it up on the infield. Shannon at third base in foul territory makes the grab. So Willie Horton is out on a pop-up. That's out number 2, and the batter will be Jim Northrup. Willis getting a big man in a tough spot there.
You know, looking at Kaline over there at third, George, over the years, the complete player, and he showed it in this series with big hits, good fielding, and he's always had that great judgment on the bases, especially going from first to third.
He's about the only Tiger that would have gone from first to third on that hit by Cash. Here's the pitch to Northrup. 1 ball, no strike. Down in the Tiger bullpen, Ray Oyler, the regular Tiger shortstop, is beginning to loosen up. So he'll probably come in to play shortstop in the 8th inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Outside. Ball 2 and no strikes to Northrup. Tigers have picked up 3 runs in this inning. They've taken a 5-3 lead over the Cardinals. A shot of young Ron Willis. Outside. 3-0 to Northrup. He might be swinging on this 3-0 pitch. He does, and bounces it. Cepeda, good play. Cepeda saved a run with a diving stab of a hard-hit ground ball as Northrup, swinging at a 3-0 pitch, hit it hard, and Cepeda saved a run. 3 runs in the inning on 4 hits. There were no errors, 2 left, and the score at the end of 7, the Tigers 5 and the Cardinals 3.
We pause now for station identification. This is the CBC Television Network.
We've got some changes in the Tiger lineup. Ray Oyler, here's Ray, has gone in to play shortstop. Mickey Stanley has moved to center field. Jim Northrup has moved to left field. And Willie Horton is out of the ball game. Julian Javier to lead off in the 8th inning for the Cardinals. He'll be followed by Flood and then Cepeda. He taps it out in front of the plate. This is going to be a tough play. The throw, safe. Javier hit it right on the end of the bat, and there wasn't much that Lolich could do about it. An infield single for Javier. He's at first with nobody out, and the batter will be Flood. Action in the Tiger bullpen. Fred Lasher, a right-hander, and John Hiller, a left-hander. You can see the runner at first base, that's Javier, along with Norm Cash. Cardinals 3 and the Tigers 5. We're in the 8th inning. One ball, no strikes to Kurt Flood. Kurt's had a single today in 3 trips. Bouncing ball up the middle. Good stop by McAuliffe. They've only got 1, that's all. McAuliffe made a great play back of the bag. Could only get 1.
Here it is. McAuliffe making his second outstanding play of the game. Right in back of the bag, and they'll flip to Euler, and they knock down that front man. He has played a very steady second baseman in this game, and he's been brilliant in this one.
Kurt, you see the natural instincts of a shortstop here as Euler turned to go to first. He's just thinking double play all the way. He had no chance to get Flood, but he had it on his mind. Orlando Cepeda, the batter. He's had a home run today in 3 trips. One strike to Cepeda. He hit a curveball into the left field seats in the first inning, and I don't think he's seen a curve since. Cepeda calling time for a moment. He wants to go to the rocking side. If Detroit should win today, Jim Simpson and Sandy Koufax will be bringing World Series reports your way again Wednesday at 1:30, 12:30 Central, just before the 6th game of the World Series. One strike to Cepeda. We're in the 8th inning, a runner at first, 1 out. The Tigers lead by 2. High pop fly into shallow right. K-line coming in, calling for it. He puts it away. Cepeda is out on a fly to right. That's 2 down, and the batter will be Mike Shannon. Lolich went right back to the fastball with him as he drilled one into the outside part of the plate, and Cepeda popped it up. Here's Shannon, who's 0 for 3. He's been on once today. Safe on an error in the 4th inning by Norm Cash. He's batting an even 300 in this series. He's had 6 hits and 20 trips. Foul ball. 1 strike. Looks like Lolich has gone to the whip right now, Kurt.
He right now is firing that fastball better than he has any time in the game.
Norman Cash holds against the runner at first base. A pitch coming up to Mike Shannon. Outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the way, but you really have to give Lolich credit. They have scored 3 runs off him in the first inning. He toughened up. Just a very courageous game.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Curveball is too high, and it's ball 2 and strike 1. Tigers have out-hit the Cardinals 9-7. They've outscored them 5-3. 3-run rally in the 7th. Put the Tigers in front. Here's a shot that's fouled on the third baseline. Shannon hit one like that yesterday just inside the line. This one was about a foot outside. It's a ball 2 and a strike 2 to this big third baseman. Lolich being very careful with Shannon. He knows with one swing of the bat he can tie the score. Here's the 2-2 pitch. He struck him out. Lolich threw the fastball by him and he struck him out. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, 1 left. And the score at the end of 7.5 innings of play. The Tigers 5 and the Cardinals 3.
This was Canada, 1867. The Bank of Commerce began that year. Canada grew, and Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce kept pace. A reliable, progressive bank. Its thoughts are still on the future. Already, space-age computers serve some branches to give customers fast electronic service. Eventually, they will link all Commerce branches coast to coast. Also for the near future, Commerce cash dispensers. Conveniently located so that you can get instant cash day or night.
Bank of Commerce, Bank of Commerce, Bank of Commerce, Bank of Commerce.
One of the world's great banks.
Let's go down to Tony Kubek.
Thank you, George. I guess this fellow needs no introduction. Mr. Dibby Dean. Dibby, we going back to St. Louis?
Tony, that's all indication we're definitely going back to St. Louis. But these Tigers showed me today that they came from behind, and this Lolich is quite a guy, and it looks like we're definitely going to St. Louis. It's a great series. Reminds me of a lot like the 34 series, Tony. You've been in a few of them yourself, partner. You know what it is.
That Brock runs like that series gang you had that year.
Yes, he's quite a ball player. A very graceful ball player. Very interesting looking ball player.
Dibby Dean, thank you so much. Good luck to you. Let's go back upstairs.
Thank you, Tony.
Bill Freehand will lead off in the 8th inning for the Tigers. Freehand, Wirt, and then Lolich. 1 ball, no strike. 2. Nope, it's a strike. Harvey giving us the delayed call, and then he went up to the right hand. 1 strike to Freehand. 2 strikes. He swung at a curveball. Bill is still looking for his first World Series hit. I want to have a look at the baseball. And Doug Harvey's going to put a new one in play. He didn't even look at it. He says if Freehand doesn't like it, I don't either. And so we'll just put a new one out. Here's the 2-strike pitch. He struck him out. Freehand goes down swinging. Well, there's 1 away in the 8th inning, and the batter will be Wirt. Well, we can look ahead a bit to the top of the 9th inning. The Cardinals will have McCarver, Davis, and Maxwell, the scheduled 3 batters in the 9th inning. Don Wirt, the batter. He lines it right into the glove of Ron Willis. A line shot that Willis speared on the mound. Oh, quickly there's 2 outs, and here's Lolich, and he'll get a standing ovation. A standing ovation from 53,000 people for Mickey Lolich. And a well-deserved ovation, you might say. A bouncing ball to the shortstop. Maxwell over to first, and the inning is over. So the Tigers go out quickly in the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. And the score as we go into the 9th inning, the Tigers 5 and the Cardinals 3. This 5th game of the 1968 World Series is being brought to you live and in color from Tiger Stadium in Detroit, exclusively on NBC, where America watches more sports than on any other network. Well, we're in the ninth inning, and the Tigers need 3 outs to send this World Series back to St. Louis. Tim McCarver will be the leadoff man. He'll be followed by Davis, the scheduled batter, but Gagliano is out of the dugout, so it looks like he's going to bat for Davis, and then Maxwell is the scheduled third batter in this inning. A pitch to McCarver. It's outside. 1 ball and no strike. Lasher and Hiller continue to throw in the Tiger bullpen. Carlton, a left-hander, throws in the Cardinal bullpen, and Hiller, a left-hander, and Lasher, a right-hander, in the Tiger bullpen. The pitch to Tim McCarver. Strike 2. Fastball around the knee. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's Gagliano in the on-deck circle. He'll bat for Ron Davis. 5-3, the Tigers lead. We're in the top of the ninth inning in Detroit. Game number 5. It's a must for the Tigers. Foul ball that'll be out of play. Still a ball and 2 strikes to McCarver. Tim struck out in the first inning, walked in the 4th, hit a line drive straight to K-line in the 6th inning. He's 0 for 2. Mickey Lolich getting ready. Here's the 1-2 pitch. A base hit to center field. He hit a curveball and he lined it into center field. So McCarver comes through with a line single to open the 9th inning. And the batter will be Gagliano batting for Ron Davis.
And as we look to the Cardinal dugout, Spezio has a bat over there, and he may come up to hit for Maxwell.
Bill Gagliano, the batter, with a runner at first and nobody out in the 9th inning. Gagliano has been to bat 1 time in this series. He's 0 for 1. Statistics provided by Alan Roth here in the booth with us. Our production manager here in the booth is Jim O'Gorman. Fly ball center field. Mickey Stanley moves in to make the play. He's got it, and there's 1 out. 1 out. Maxwell scheduled to bat, and Ed Spezio has moved into the on-deck circle, and here he is. Spezio is going to come on and bat for Maxwell.
And as Spezio comes in, the Commissioner of Baseball, William D. Eckert, the Secretary-Treasurer, Charles Seeger, Director of Public Relations, Joe Reichler, and his assistant, Monty Irvin, who have been in charge of this series.
Here's Ed Spezio. He'll bat for the shortstop, Dal Maxwell. And Roger Maris has moved into the on-deck circle. He'll bat for the pitcher, Ron Willis. Mickey Lolich getting ready. Curve ball is in there. 1 strike. There's Roger Maris in the on-deck circle. Shane Deist has gone to his bench here in the 9th inning. Tigers lead by 2. McCarver at first base with 1 out. A foul ball that'll be out of play. 2 strikes. You know, Kurt, it's got to be tough to come off that bench and pinch hit against a man throwing as hard as Lolich and with the shadows as they are out there, and it's hard to see right now.
That's right, George. Cool, and that shadows of their own dugout, too.
That's right. You sit over there all day and have to come off and face this man. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Ooh, he just missed with a fastball, 1-2. He had 2 strikes on McCarver when he lined a single to center. Then he got Gagliano. Now it's 1-2 to Espizio. The pitch. This one's fouled off to the left. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Tim McCarver at first base. There's a shot from center field. He's showing you freehand, flashing the signs out to Lolich. See the batter standing in the darkness and the pitcher in the bright sunshine. And the 1-2 pitch just about ready to be delivered. Here it is. Foul tip. Almost got it by him. He foul tipped it in and out of the mitt of freehand. It was a good curveball. Lolich threw a lot of curves in St. Louis. He was not real fast. Today he's been quick. He's trying to put it away here in the 9th inning and send this World Series back to St. Louis on Wednesday. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tiger infield at double play depth. The pitch. Down low, and it's 2-2. A ball 2 and a strike 2 count. It's Espizio batting for Dow Maxville. This is out of play, off to the right. Well, Espizio continues to foul off the good ones. He's hanging tough in there against Lolich. He's getting a little break right now because the sun has moved behind the cloud and there's no shadows out there to battle. Lolich gets set. The 2-2 pitch. Another foul. It'll be out of play. Well, the battle goes on here in the 9th inning. Cardinals got 3 in the first inning of this ball game, and Lolich has blanked them ever since. The Tigers got 2 in the 4th, 3 in the 7th to take a 5-3 lead, and that's where we stand. 5-3 in the top of the 9th. 1 out with a runner at first base. The 2-2 pitch. Another foul. It's out of play. Lolich keeps pumping the fastball at Espizio in this spot, and is fouling it back. Mickey gets ready. Another foul tip. Boy, he almost got that one by him. Espizio swung at the last moment and foul tipped it right off the mid of freehand. Catchers will tell you that there's no way to catch a foul tip. It either lands right in the mitt and stays there, or it doesn't. You can't judge it. If it deflects it an inch or so either way, it's going to hit on the side of the mitt and bounce away. Still 2-2. Curveball hit foul. Well, he hits the curves foul and he hits the fastballs foul. It's about 7 that Espizio is fouled off, and the tension keeps building here at Tiger Stadium. Well, you can see part of the crowd here, and very much pro-Tiger crowd in Tiger Stadium. Pulling for Lolich to get him out here in the 9th inning. Bouncing ball to left field. A base hit for Espizio. So the Cardinals keep fighting back. They've got runners at first and second. with 1 out. And Roger Maris is going to bat. We're going to get a runner. I believe it's Schofield. Schofield's going to run for Spezio. Mayo Smith on the Tiger dugout.
We'll see that situation. He couldn't come any closer to striking a batter out than Lolich did when that batter keeps fouling him off time after time. Not a little time to come through that base hit.
You're right, Kurt. So the Tigers facing Roger Maris in this spot with 2 on and 1 out, and they lead by 2 in the 9th inning. Lolich delivers. Got the fastball by 1 strike. Here's that man in the on-deck circle. This was the one that they wanted to keep out of that batter's box in this inning. The only way they can do it now is with a double play ball. Roger Maris with a 1-strike count. Up high, 1-1. McCarver opened this inning with a single. Gagliano batting for Ron Davis, flied to center. Spezio came through with a single to left. He was batting for Maxville. Now Maris is batting for Ron Willis. 1 ball, 1 strike. Strike, good curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mickey Lolich just exploded that curve right over the heart of the plate. Mickey gets ready. Boy, can you imagine the pressure he's under? He's got to get him out to continue this World Series. He struck him out. Roger Maris went for a bad pitch and he struck out. That's out number 2, and the batter is Lou Brock. A strikeout is number 8 for Lolich today. They got Lou Brock out his last time up, Kurt, and his batting average dropped to 550 in this World Series.
And they got him out on a ball that nearly killed McAuliffe.
Nearly lost our second baseman. Well, this is the way championship ball games turn out. It comes right down to strength against strength, and Lolich against Brock with 2 on and 2 outs in the 9th inning, and the Tigers lead by 2. Brock's had 3 hits today in 4 trips. Fly ball that's foul and out of play. 1 strike. He hit a double in the first inning and scored a run. Singled up the middle in the 3rd, and he doubled against the fence in left field in the 5th inning. In the 7th inning, he hit a vicious line drive, 1 hop that McAuliffe made a great play on to throw him out. Standing in with a 1-strike count. And Mickey Lolich, very intense as he looks in. The pitch. Outside, it's 1-1. You don't see this Brock pull away from left-handed pitching. Once in a while, he'll give a little bit on a curveball, but not much. He stays right there. There's a tap to the pitcher. It should be over. Over to Cash, and it's all over. Mickey Lolich turns in a great job as he got Brock to tap it right back to the mound. And he raced to first base with it, as you saw, and he flipped it over to Cash, and the ball game is over. In the ninth inning for the Cardinals, no run on 2 hits. There were no errors, 2 left. And the final score of the game, the Tigers 5 and the Cardinals 3.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, feel confident. Stay dry with new Right Guard Antiperspirant, a completely new product from Right Guard. Right Guard Antiperspirant is a new defense against perspiration. It contains a tested agent that checks perspiration wetness. Feel confident. Stay dry. Get new Right Guard Antiperspirant in the silver can.
Ten more blades to go.
5 blades to go. 3. Just 3 blades to go. That's it. I used up all the old blades. Now I can use the new Gillette Super Stainless Steel blade with the miracle plastic coating on the edge. They say it's supposed to spoil you.
The spoiler.
Well, trailing 3-0, Mickey Lolich shut out the Cardinals the rest of the way, and he's now down in the field. Let's get down there with the Tiger hero and Tony Kubek.
All year long. And we've got a guest. Governor George Romney congratulating Mickey Lolich.
That's terrific, Mickey. You're the hero of Tiger Town, I'll tell you.
Governor, you know, all year long, this club has been bouncing back, and of course they did it again today on the strength of Mickey Lolich.
Mickey and Al Kaline, the whole bunch.
Thank you so much, sir. Mickey, let's talk about the ball game and your performance. We just mentioned to Governor Romney all year long. You guys have been bouncing back, showing the baseball world exactly what you're made of. Today you bounced back from a 3-run deficit. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Tony. Like you said, all year it's been the type of team that we've had. When we've been down, we've always come through with the crucial base hits, and we've always come back to win the ball games when we were behind. The club has been great at it all year, and it's really an exciting ball club, and it's an exciting team to watch. And I know the people in the city of Detroit and some of the people that saw the game around the nation today had to see a real exciting ball club.
Mickey, let's talk a little bit about that man that's been pestering you. You couldn't keep Brock off base today, and yet you still beat him. Now, that's the key to me.
Well, Lou is one heck of a ball player. I'll admit I had trouble keeping him off base. I was surprised today how good of a hitter he was. I knew he had the great speed, and I heard he was a great outfielder, and they said that, he'd hit a lot of balls, chop them into the dirt, and get on base like this. But today he showed me that he had more power than I ever thought he could ever have.
You know, Mick, a couple of days ago there was talk in the newspapers and around the baseball world. There was a feud between you and Lou Brock. You had said something, somebody said. What is the true story?
Well, the story came out in one of the Detroit newspapers that I called Lou Brock a showboat. And Tony, I'll say it right here, I never said anything like this whatsoever. The question that came up was, why was Lou stealing when he was 5 runs behind over in St. Louis last Thursday? I said he was trying to do one of two things. One, he was trying to rile me, upset me, for the next guy would get a base hit. Possibly I'd get upset enough or I'd give up a home run and they'd score the runs to catch up in the ball game. And I said the second reason might be that maybe he was going to try to set a Major League record for a World Series. And I didn't blame him for that either. But some reporter in Detroit tried to make a big deal out of something, but it wasn't true at all.
Mickey Lolich, thank you so much. I know you want to get in there and change your jacket. Right now I want to call in a couple of people that want to congratulate you, I'm sure. I'll do it right now and let you go.
Okay, Tony, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mickey Lolich. I want to call in right now Al Kaline. Al, congratulations.
Thank you. It's a real big hit for me. It wasn't one of the harder ones I hit, but it was one of the nicer ones
I guess it was a big one. You kept the thing going. You drove in the runs. You know, yesterday, Al, you hit the 2-run home run, probably one of the biggest hits in your life, but you couldn't really enjoy it. You've been the type of player all your career, has been such a team man, and I saw you in the locker room afterwards. You lost, you hit a home run, but you still didn't enjoy it. And this is a tribute to you. You've been a great team man.
Well, Tony, when I hit the home run, it felt mighty good. It put us 2 runs ahead, but when a team loses, it takes all the glory out of any personal things that I might have done. The big thing in this game is always winning, and this is what I've always felt. And I'm just happy that our team's been able to bounce back, and now we'll go to St. Louis, and maybe we can just squeeze it out. You never know.
Well, you look like you've got the momentum going. There was one big break in this ballgame early in the game when a bad hop got over the head of Javier, and of course this seemed to really excite you all, electrify all. You went right on from there and got hot.
Well, this seems like what happens all year. When there is a little spark or somebody does something outstanding, it seems like it drives the other fellas just a little bit more. And I think this is what happened today, that it took a bad hop, and the other guys got a little charge out of it, and we went on from there.
Al, let's ask about your pitching plans for that important game coming up in St. Louis. There'll be an off day, but can McLean pitch? Can Wilson pitch? Both may be injured.
I doubt very seriously whether either of them will pitch in that series. I think Mayo Smith's plans right now will go with Joe Sparma and the whole bullpen, and probably come back with Lolich again.
In other words, you do not think that McLean and Wilson will see any more action in the series?
I really don't think so. McLean's arm's bothering quite a bit, and Earl's leg is just too bad for him to go out there and pitch. And I think Joe will come up with a big game, and we have some good boys in the bullpen, and maybe the pressure won't be so great now.
Al, I think the Cardinals felt that after they got that 3-run lead, it was going to end right here, but I said this to Lolich, I'll say it to you too. The baseball world has been astounded all year long by the way you've performed. The whole Tiger Ball Club. Lolich came out there today, dropped behind. Once again, the Tigers did what they've been so famous for. The power, and today it really wasn't a heck of a lot of power, but you just put things together and you win ball games in the late innings. What is it? What's going on the bench? Who's egging you on, or is it just his personal pride?
Well, it's pride. You know, we're representing the American League, and we haven't been a very good representative so far. You know, we were saying, let's go out and play a good ball game and do the best we can. If we lose, fine, but we got a lot of pride at stake. We're representing the American League, and we just want to do a better job than we've been doing.
Al Kaline, thank you so much. I like to call him a person that you know very well. Mr. Fetzer, I like to call him the owner of the Detroit Tigers right here, and I know he wants to congratulate you, Mr. John Fetzer.
Well, I tell you right now, this is a great day for me because our boys have demonstrated once again that they can come from behind and they can do the job. And Al here has shown himself to be a pro all the way through, and I couldn't be more proud of a ball player in my life than I am Al Kaline. And that Mick was pretty good out there today, too, wasn't he, Al?
Just great. He showed he got off to a bad start, and but he came back and battled all the way, and it showed what a pro he is, and he didn't let himself get upset by the 3 runs in the first inning.
Mr. John Fetzer, Al Kaline, we'll see you in St. Louis.
Yes, we'll be there, and we'll play our best.
Thank you so much, Al Kaline. Thank you, Mr. John Fetzer. Now let's go back upstairs.
And thanks to Tony Kubek down on the field, this was one of the most exciting World Series games of recent years. The Tigers, who had not played well here in the field especially, sparkled with good plays today. McAuliffe made 2. Willie Horton threw Lou Brock out of the plate in the 5th inning. And then, of course, there are a couple of key plays. Kaline getting the hit with the bases loaded. But I think one of the keys of the game was 1 out and the Tigers trailing when Mayo Smith let Mickey Lolich hit in the 7th inning, and he started the rally with a Texas leaguer in the right center, George.
Kurt, he didn't want to take Lolich out. He was behind by 1 run, and even if they don't score in the 7th inning, he's got the 8th and the 9th inning, and he figures Lolich is going to hold them in. And with a 1-run lead here, 1 run behind here in Detroit, these Tigers are dangerous. They have 7 or 8 men in the lineup that can hit a home run. And this was his thinking, but Lolich surprised him. He got the base hit. He scored the tying run, and the Tigers went on to win. And you can't give too much credit to Mickey Lolich, who just pitched a great ball game here today.
This was our first close game of the series. The Cardinals had won 4-0, and the Tigers 8-1. Then it was 7-3 and 10-1, and then coming back today. And by an oddity, the Cardinals have been excellent against left-handers all year. They won 35 and lost only 12, and now their 2 losses in the series have been to left-hander Mickey Lolich. So once again, let's go down to Tony.
Thank you very much. We're talking to Joe Garagiola. Joe, these Tigers came back again.
Unbelievable. I thought after the 3 runs that they would just kind of roll over and play a convenient ball game and try not to get hurt, go home and wait for the World Series check. But I think they surprised everybody. But, you know, Tony, really, Al Kaline, I think earlier today, that pride that he talked about, he and Cash were doing little subtle things to get this ball club to keep them going. And, you know, you can give a ball club a lot of lip service, but when they came to where it was a jam, Kaline got up there as much as to say, look, guys, I'm up here. I've been telling you all about it. I'm going to do it. And when he got that base hit, you could almost see it flip-flop around and the momentum switch. I can see now what a real leader can do, even sitting up in the stand. Sometimes you have to be on a bench, as you know, or in a dugout. But Kaline did a tremendous job.
Joe, how about Lolich? He never gave up. 3 runs down, and here comes old Mick. Still throwing hard. He got the big man for the last out, Lou Brock. He's been just great.
It was a great ending to a good ball game because Brock, you know, as the joke went, they were saying that Brock, with his records and everything, it came to where it was him and Lolich won it. But you know, a thing about him, I feel, Tony, he's a real left-hander. Now, you know, I say this with a lot of respect, but Seems to me like left-handers just don't scare. You know, they look at you and say, Lou Brock, you got 2 hits, I can still get you. Because I felt with Brock, he was 3 for 4, but he was still due. You know, and you had to worry about it. But Lolich, I think, is a fearless kind of a pitcher, and all I can say is that he as much as that you're not going to beat me. I don't care how many hits you got. A typical left-hander.
Joe, we're going back to St. Louis. Back to the Cardinals' home ballpark. The Tigers seem to have some momentum. But what about the pitching plans? McLean and Wilson may not be able to pitch.
Well, that's going to be their big problem. Of course, K-Line said just a few minutes ago the whole bullpen, they'll use everybody, including John Fetzer, I guess, if they have to. That's going to be a problem, the starter. They're going to have to jump out to an early lead because, you know, you can talk to yourself, but unless you've got that lead, it's going to be a little bit of a problem. I would imagine Sparma would be his choice. Wilson's got a bad leg. McLean's got a bad arm. Sparma hasn't pitched that much. He must be going with about 37 days rest.
Let's talk a little bit about the Today Show. Have you made plans for tomorrow? Who's your guest?
I'm going to talk to Bill Freehan for one because there's no doubt about it. He's snake bit. And I've been through it where everything he does, I'm sure that when he eats a steak, he's got the feeling that it's a rosin bag. Nothing tastes good to him. I'm going to talk to him, and then I've got to talk to Lou Brock just to see if he's human. I figure he's going to be in the next moonshot the way it's going because he doesn't belong on this earth. He belongs in a higher league, as Lou Burdett would say. He's been amazing, so that'll be my guess for tomorrow. Brock to get the flavor of how it feels to do what he's doing, and Freehan to find out just how he is feeling right now because he's got to feel like he's been bitten by some big bad snake.
Joe, it looks right at this time like the Cardinals will be pitching Washburn. Again, the Tigers, we don't know. Joe Sparma looks like a good choice. Do you think the Tigers can beat Washburn again?
The way they're going now, of course, the Cardinals, you know, they are still in the driver's seat. It's a big pickup because as far as the Tigers were concerned, they were ready, as I say, to go home and start making out their Christmas list. But now they've got a chance to keep it going, so sure, they're happy. Gibson is the guy that they'll have to worry about.
Joe Garagiola. I want to introduce you to somebody, Mr. Joe Cronin, president of the American League.
Yes, sir. When I was a little boy, I used to always follow him, and it was a thrilling ball game. Yes, it was.
That was a great day.
Best game of the series. Best game of the series.
One of the great days of the whole history of baseball. It was a terrific pressure game, Joe. Every pitch meant something. Every swing meant something.
Mr. Cronin, I know you're going back to St. Louis.
Oh, am I happy?
Mr. Joe Cronin, Joe Garagiola, thank you so much. We enjoyed having you. Always a pleasure.
Tony, thank you. See you, Mr. Cronin.
See you, Joe. See you in St. Louis.
Let's go back upstairs.
Quickly to scoring again. The Cardinals had 3 in the first. Flood singled in, Brock with double. Cepeda hit a home run. That was their scoring for the day. The Tigers came up with their 2 runs in the fourth. They get back in the game after Stanley tripled. Cash, a sacrifice fly, scored him. Willie Horton in triple, and Northrup's infield hit got him in. K-Line singled in 2 runs with the bases loaded in the 7th to put the Tigers ahead, and Cash added 1 more with a single to right. Fine fielding plays by the Tigers today. They fought back. Lolich winning. He's 1-2 now. Gibson's 1-2. George, you're with the Tigers. They mentioned it might be Sparma. What do you think? Who will pitch for him?
I think so. I think it'll be Joe Sparma. He's capable of pitching a big ball game, and if Sparma should win the 6th game, we'll see Mickey Lolich and Bob Gibson in game number 7, and Kurt, that ought to be a dandy.
5-3, the final score. The Tigers win, and back we go to St. Louis now for Game 6 day after tomorrow. So this is Kurt Gowdy on behalf of George Kell. This game is authorized under television rights granted by the Commissioner's Office solely for the entertainment of our audience. And any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner's Office is prohibited. The 5th game of this 1968 World Series has been brought to you by
Gillette, makers of new Right Guard antiperspirant in the silver can. By the more than 1,350 branches in Canada of the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. And by
Chrysler Canada Limited and the Dodge, Plymouth, Roots, and Simca dealers who sell the quality engineered cars and trucks by Chrysler.
A final reminder, Wednesdays over most of these same stations, the sixth game between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Detroit Tigers. Check your local listings for the exact time in the sixth game of the 1968 World Series. This is the CBC Television Network.